Hi, I'm Taylor Dawson, and this video is for Psychology 100. I have recently done some extensive research on the mental illness schizophrenia, and I would like to take a few minutes to share with you what I have came up with. So here we go. So schizophrenia is the 9th most devastating mental illness in the world. It's also considered to be a brain disease. Not a lot of people know that. The University of Maryland actually came up with it in a recent study that they took. To define schizophrenia, it is defined as a long-term mental disorder of a type involving breakdown in the relation between thought, emotion, and behavior, leading to faulty perception. And to be schizophrenic, you need to have at least 3 of 5 symptoms, and those symptoms are: you can be delusional, you hallucinate, you're catatonic, or you have auditory hallucinations, which is actually the most common, and you have absurd behavior. So to be delusional, you would believe that someone is after you to harm you or kill you. Hallucinations would be that you see something that is not actually there. Auditory hallucinations would be that you are hearing voices, and that you're hearing voices either to most likely that there's something plotting against you, or that you need to do something, and a lot of the time that it's that you need to do something, like you're considered God, or you need to hurt this person because they're going to hurt you if you don't. Absurd behavior is when your behavior just doesn't match anything at all. Like, it's out of the normal. It's like in the most weirdest places. Like, you're at dinner and you want to fight the person in front of you. A lot of times, like, the normal human will probably think it, but the schizophrenic will actually do it because most of the time there's something in their head telling them to do it. Catatonic behavior is you're pretty much a vegetable. Your emotions are and you don't want to talk to anybody at all, and it's really sad. So there are treatments, and the cause, actually, no one knows the cause yet. There's been tons of research done to figure out if genetics are a factor, if if genetics are a factor, if family is a factor, if where you live is a factor, if you're a boy is a factor, girl, mom, dad, old, young. No one knows. Every study has came up inconclusive. What we do know is that you are most likely to become schizophrenic between 16 and 26. For women, sometimes they get the symptoms after their midlife crises. The chances of becoming schizophrenic for a male and female are exactly the same, except it's been proven that male schizophrenic patients receive symptoms earlier than women. The most common symptoms that they get are hallucinations and delusions. There are tons of different kinds, though. Schizophrenia is just a broad definition for all the different subtypes. So there's paranoid schizophrenia, disorganized schizophrenia, catatonic schizophrenia. There's also indifferentiated schizophrenia, which I haven't talked to you about yet, and that's when you don't meet any of the 5 specific symptoms that I told you, that you meet technically all of them and then some more. And then there's residual schizophrenia, where you have been diagnosed schizophrenic, but as you grew up, your symptoms dwindled or that you don't have symptoms anymore, which is great because only probably 5% of schizophrenics actually happens to them, because unfortunately for most of the time no one loses their symptoms, and because of it 10% of all schizophrenic will commit suicide, which is a terrible, terrible thing. But to treat schizophrenia, there are 3 main types, and they are antipsychotic drugs, and then there is atypical psychotic drugs, and counseling. So if you think about it, antipsychotic drugs are, they say, the best treatment for them to take, except they come with severe side effects where it makes the patient want to commit suicide. They throw up a lot, get jittery, they're not themselves, and just, it'll make their brain work better, but it'll make their life not as good. And atypical antipsychotic drugs are the exact same thing as antipsychotic drugs, but atypical drugs have less severe side effects and will actually let the patient function like a normal human being. Counseling is another treatment, and it's actually proven that a lot of people diagnosed with schizophrenia, if they take the counseling, they actually have a better rate of curing and losing some of their symptoms because they get the love and support that they need. And anyone can get schizophrenia. There's even been a Nobel Peace Prize winner named John Nash, who won a Nobel Peace Prize for mathematics. He was diagnosed with schizophrenia, and he was a genius. Also, you can go from genius, or you can go to the poorest people in the world. Actually, there was a study where in the Netherlands that if you're born in the city and it's like a not wealthy city, that you are likely to get schizophrenia. If your mother's pregnant and gets the flu, a study was shown that you're most likely to, you can get, not most likely, but you can get schizophrenia. A lot of people actually probably have schizophrenia, especially the subtypes, and it's kind of terrible, and it's really sad because a lot of them are drug users and abusers, or have came to drug using because a lot of schizophrenia is actually self-diagnosed, and it's because they think they have depression or anxiety or another type of mental illness, and an actualization that they have schizophrenia. And it's really bad because a lot of people are actually schizophrenic and undiagnosed, because to technically be diagnosed schizophrenic, you have to report yourself in, and you have to report yourself into the doctor and tell them all your symptoms, and then the doctor will come up with what you are. And in one of my papers, I read that it's a chronic illness, and it's super hard to diagnose, even though it's chronic. And that's about all I have for you, and I hope you enjoyed watching and listening and learning. And it's a really confusing mental illness, and there's so much more to be found out about it, and there's so much more for me to say, and it's so hard to say it all in 10 minutes. So I hope you enjoyed watching my video, and thank you.